thanks for being on this evening. We're gonna do a cute sunflower craft. We're actually gonna do a wreath. So right after Labor Day, you guys, that's when I put sunflowers out, and I keep my sunflowers out until I put Halloween out. So that's just how I do it. So what we're gonna do with this guy, this is a big embroidery hoop, and you get these at Hobby Lobby. Burlap, I cut the burlap, and when you do your burlap, I iron my burlap just to get it nice and flat, and that one when you cut it, you can get a nice even edge on it. Otherwise it kind of wants to get wonky. So iron your burlap, and I'm just going to take our super cute hello stencil that I used before, and I'm going to stencil the hello on here. And I'm going to do it in black because, and I got to tell you, I love sunflowers with the black and white buffalo plaid and the checks. I love it, love it, love it. That's how you're going to also kind of infuse a little bit of that more of a country farmhouse feel to it. Plus it kind of neutralizes it a little bit. And one thing when you do the black, if you do a ribbon like that, it's not going to scream so much fall. Whereas if I did any of the rust, the burgundies, any of that, like golds and stuff, or even reds, it would scream more fall. So I'm going to go ahead and just stencil the hello. And remember, I've told you guys this before, we just go up and down. We don't try to push it underneath. And the burlap holds that paint really good. It holds on to it pretty good. So I hope I didn't put too much paint on there. Okay, so I'm just stenciling the hello. You know what, whatever you're doing to be kind to yourself that we can share with each other, let's just do that. Okay, yay! There's our hello. How sweet is that? So there's our little hello for the wreath, okay? So I'm gonna set that little guy aside because he's wet. And I'm gonna sit him off to the side. I'll put my brush in water. We're gonna move him off to the side. Now we're gonna tackle the embroidery hoop. And I'm gonna have to put that together a little bit wet, but it's not gonna matter. Okay, so we're gonna take the embroidery hoop apart and we're gonna loosen it up. I mean, I tell you what, people are just genius how they come up with these ideas. I can't take the credit for everything. I come up with ideas, but boy, sometimes when you see little hacks like this, it's like, that's a good one. Just like that, the reverse canvas, that is just a good one. Heck yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm just putting the burlap. I took the embroidery hoop apart, and then I'm putting my burlap hello in between, okay? So that's all this is gonna be. And then I'm gonna pull it tight, and then I'm just gonna tighten up the screw, and that screw, yep, that's fine to be at the top. It's perfectly fine to be at the top. It doesn't matter if it's at the top or the bottom because I'm gonna end up covering it up with eucalyptus and ribbon anyway, so it's not gonna matter. So there I've got this pretty much where I want it. I'm gonna stretch this one side out a little bit. So there's our hello, super cute. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna take a little bit of hot glue and I'm gonna run it around the back here where it's together. I'm just gonna run some hot glue on that so it doesn't slip out on me because it's nice and tight. Got my glue gun over here. Okay, I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna let that dry for just a second before I cut it. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim it off now. Just right at the edge of the embroidery hoop, I'm just gonna trim that edge off. Okay, so there's what we have. There's our hello. And now, what I did, let me move this out of the way. I'm gonna get talking. I'm gonna fling the whole darn bottle. I grabbed my bundle of sunflowers. I might be a little obsessed with sunflowers. I'm just telling you, look at this. What do you think? We can make sunflower stuff for days. I think we're gonna make it for days, as big as this bundle is. So what I kind of like with this one is, I did like this bunch, and as luck would have it, I got these at Michael's. And here's the thing, guys. So I like, for something like this with the black and the burlap, I like this a little bit darker gold. See how that one's a little bit more yellow? I want that little bit deeper color sunflower for this, so I'm just gonna go with those. And it's got a variety of sizes, so that's gonna be super great for the wreath. And then I am gonna add in there, just for fun, I'm gonna add a little bit of the geranium and a little bit of this orange. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I think that the three of them together are gonna make a beautiful fall wreath, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, okay, I told you guys this before, but I'll share it again. So when you wanna get greenery, especially for something like a wreath, you go and you buy the garlands, okay? They're so much more affordable. So this garland, it was 6 foot long, and I've been snipping on it. All these crafts that we've been doing, I've been snipping off this garland. So it's 6 foot long, and I paid $9 for it. One sprig of eucalyptus at Michael's is $7.99. So you save yourself a lot of money and do the eucalyptus on the garland. And I did the silver dollar eucalyptus, and then I do the little, I don't really even know what this kind's called, but it's a little bit smaller stuff. And I like to combine the two of them. And I bought them each. They were $9 for each 6 foot garland. So that's a great deal. So now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to kind of lay my greenery out where I want it. And I'm not going to cover the entire wreath. If you want to cover your whole wreath, you cover your whole wreath. I'm just going to kind of meander it around. I don't have an exact science how I'm going to do it. I never do. I just kind of have an idea in my head how I want it to be. So let me get my snips. And I'm going to cut off, I'm going to cut that ugly end off, but I'm going to cut off probably like maybe, 8 or 10 inch bits. Let's do that. And then I can start working it around and see how we're going to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, you guys, is I'm going to take the eucalyptus, because it's got this silver dollar, it's fatter. It's going to glue on a little bit better, and I don't have a big surface on the embroidery hoop, which I don't want a big surface. Normally, a wreath like this, you would do grapevine. But gosh, I just think these are so much cuter. This is just like a little modern twist to it. So that's why I'm going to do this. I just think it's fun. Something different. Okay, so I am going to put a little bit down at the bottom, because I don't know where the big sunflowers are going to go. They're just going to go. Okay, I'm just gluing that on. Don't want to burn your fingers, so you just got to give it a minute to kind of settle in. This is what we've got so far. We're doing this. They don't look like much when you first start, but boy, once you start adding on, they fill in so cute. Okay, so I'm just going to go up around the side here and put the rest of the eucalyptus. And it's not, you know what, it's not structured, if you will. I'm not covering all of it. There's going to be some bare spots, and that's okay, because we're going to plug in these sunflowers, which I can start cutting them off. This is nice because it's got 3 different sizes on this bundle. Well, that's a tough one. Got it. Okay. So this, look how cute this is going to be. Just a little sneak peek. Isn't that going to be sweet? What do you guys think? You like it? Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more eucalyptus up around the top. And like I said, the silver dollar eucalyptus, because the leaves are a little bit fatter, I'm able to kind of stick them down. And they still have that nice little flow to them, but I am able to stick them down onto the embroidery hoop. Okay, now, this is where I always get stumped. So it's like, do I want to go back up this way? I'm gonna pull this ribbon. Look at there, it's a good thing I ordered 2 more bolts. So this guy, I think, I'm not sure. The ribbon's gonna go on last. I'm just gonna plug the sunflowers in, so I don't care. I think I'm gonna go ahead with this, and I'm gonna go all the way around and just have the eucalyptus go one direction. We're just gonna keep it easy. We're just gonna make it super easy and just do that. Probably 2 more pieces, and we're gonna call it, and then we're gonna fill in with the other flowers, and then this guy, we'll put the ribbon on it, and it's done. Super easy. Okay, there we go. That's what we have so far. And so if we were doing spring, that would be the perfect base for our spring wreath. But I'm gonna fill in a little bit of the smaller eucalyptus, just in a few spots. I just think it's adorable. I love it. I like to mix them. I don't know why. Just to give it a little bit, it kind of gives it more like a little airy feeling, and I think that's good. Okay, so you can see I'm filling in the little smaller eucalyptus. I'm going to do a few more little sprigs of that. And then we're going to fill in with the flowers and the ribbon, and we're going to hang this guy outside. I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to plug in a couple over here. And you know what, the wood, okay, so the embroidery hoop wood is bare and it holds the glue good. So that's one nice thing. If you decide to paint it or stain it, if you don't want the natural wood, it might be a little bit more challenging. I lost my glue stick. It might be a little bit more challenging for the greenery to hold on. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to mention to you. All right, I think that's going to be good for that, just for the base. And then I'm going to take the sunflowers and I'm going to snip them off. First, we got to sip some wine. Here's to you. Cheers, 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 cheers. Do you think I've got an obsession with sunflowers? I mean, like, seriously? One year, a bazillion years ago, a friend of mine was doing a fundraiser for United Way at NAU. And she called me and she goes, Becky, this is when I had my store. She's like, I need some centerpieces. And they were doing a tailgating thing. And I'm like, well, how much money do you have? And she says, well, none. I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. Okay, here we go. So I went out and we spent an entire afternoon cutting sunflowers. And I did bandanas on the canning jars with sunflowers. They were the cutest darn arrangements that we did for free. That was so much fun. Those are the kind of times like when you're crafting and I think of memories like that they just make me so happy. They do, they just make me so happy. Okay, I might actually, you guys, I might actually even use some of the sunflower leaves. These are pretty good ones. They look all right to me. So now I've got 3 different sizes of sunflowers. So the key is to, okay, nope, I'm lying to you. I got 2 different sizes. I got 3 of the bigger ones and 3 of the small ones. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this guy, and I think I want a bigger one up here. And I think I want to balance a bigger one off down here. And then definitely, okay, then I'm going to tuck one in here. And then I'm going to do one down here, and then I'm going to do one up there. Nope, I want to do the big one up there. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to glue these in real quick. So I'm making the decision to do the flowers, and then I'm going to do the sunflowers, and then I'm going to do the filler flowers, the orange and the geraniums. And then I'm going to go in and fill in with the ribbon. If you want to do your ribbon first, you can do the ribbon first. Sometimes people like to do the ribbon first, and that kind of gives them a guide so they can see where to put their tails. I just usually meander mine around, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot to me because there's not a structure to this. But it's whatever makes you the most comfortable. Just do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on that guy. He wants to come apart. Yeah, he was kind of broken at the store, but I liked him, so I bought him anyway. I saved him. He would probably ended up in the clearance bin, so I saved him. I gave him a dignified little life there. Sometimes I do that. It's like, oh, you're kind of messed up. I'll take you home. We'll make you pretty. Okay, so there's this. This is what we got so far. And now I've got these gorgeous beauties, so I'm going to snip them off and see where we're going to put them. Definitely want to tuck them in against the other sunflowers. I don't think I want them standing out on their own so much. I think I want them just kind of nestled up to their buddy. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to snip one more. Okay. So that's what that's going to look like so far. All right, guys, what do you think? Okay, there we go. There we are. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. I like that little punch. And you know what? These were flowers that I got at Michael's on clearance. I'm going to tell you guys that. They were out of the clearance bin, and I'm glad I grabbed them because they look, and they're a spring. They were a spring flower, but boy, they look good. Okay, I'm going to snip some of this geranium, the red. Man, these are good ones. Okay, these are the ones that I found when I went out junking, and they were at the Goodwill. And I was like, gosh, they were kind of expensive for the Goodwill. Well, because they're the ones that are the UV. They don't fade in the UV. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're really good. Super good flowers. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the red, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it. I think I'm just going to kind of tuck it in next to the gold just to break it up a little bit. Now, when you're doing this kind of stuff, typically the secret is you do your flowers in odd numbers, and you just kind of want to nestle them together, all right? You don't want to have them too spread out or too, like, too uniform, because then they don't kind of look organic. I want them to kind of look more organic, so that's how I do them. I like to just, like I said, it's more like a meandering, and when I do my ribbons, it's definitely more of a meander. And then I may end up coming in with this one and filling in a little bit more of the eucalyptus. I love it. I think the eucalyptus is just fantastic in these on the wreaths and stuff. I need a little bit of eucalyptus in here. I found a bold spot, so I'm gonna fill them in right there. And then I'm gonna hold it up so you guys can see, and then we're gonna put the ribbon on it, and it's just about done, except for maybe fill in a couple more little spots. What do you think? I like it. I think it's going to be adorable. The ribbon, honestly, the black and white ribbon is what's going to make this guy sing, 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 sing. He's going to be howling. He's going to be so happy. It's going to make a huge difference. It just kind of grounds it. I am going to put a little bit more of the, I think I want a little bit more red on each side of the, definitely on the side of the orange flower up here. I'm going to add a little bit more of that geranium. And then I think I'm going to tuck a little bit in here. Yep. Okay. And I can add more too. So there we go. There's that pretty little girl. And now let's add our ribbon. I think I did leave the top a little bare. So that is where I think I'm going to go ahead with the bow. Oh, you know what I forgot is wire. That's okay, I don't need it. Okay, so I'm going to do the bow, you do a loop, and then you do another loop. And you want your two loops to be the same size, and you gather them in the middle. See how that looks like an 8? Looks like an 8. And then, and I usually use wire ribbon, that's a good secret. I flip it in the middle, and then the next loop that comes out, you guys, it's just a little bit bigger. It's just a scotch bigger than the one before, and then we flip it in the middle, and then we go the next, that same thing. So we've got one hoop, a little bit bigger behind it, one hoop, a little bit bigger, and I'm probably on this gonna go with, I'm gonna stop at 3 and see what that looks like. Otherwise, it'll be 5. But I don't have enough on that piece to do 5, but that's okay. I think 3 is going to be good. Yeah. Okay, so that's what, look how that makes that wreath pop, that black. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. It just kind of settles it down. It just kind of just makes it just, I don't know, it just kind of saturates it. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the rest of this off the bolt. And then what I do is normally I would wire it, but since I forgot to grab wire, I'm gonna go ahead and tie it off, but I'm gonna leave myself enough tail to go around that side a little bit. And then we're gonna meander the tails on there and then fill in where we think we need to fill in. And that is our beautiful sunflower wreath. How easy was that? So super easy. Okay, I gotta use my other hand. Oh. There we go. Nailed it. Okay, so there we've got our bow. Look how pretty that is, all right? I'm gonna tie it onto my embroidery hoop right up here at the top. Don't be afraid to use, for fall, your black and white plaids. You know, gold, we're seeing a lot of black and gold, white and gold. You know, if you want more of a modern twist to it, by all means, use those colors. We are no longer stuck in what you have to use fall colors for fall. You don't. We've got our bow at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna take my tails now and I'm gonna meander them through the flowers. And I kind of do them loosely. So like that, I just took it around and I'm just doing it loose. And then I kind of tuck it in, and we can always move them. If we don't like them the way they look, we just move them out of the way. And that's why I like to use wire ribbon, because it's gonna stay in place while I work this ribbon around this wreath. And you know, we could even make another smaller bow and tuck it in there too. Oh, I love this so much. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. These colors with the black, it's just good. Super happy about that. Okay, so there we have the meandering going on so far. I'm gonna have to fix that bow up there, but you can see how I do my tendrils. So they kind of go up and they kind of come in. That's kind of a fun way to do it, but by all means, do it how you want to do it. This is just how I do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just tuck this little tail in, and that's gonna end there. So that's what we have with this guy. I have that little side. This is a distraction. I've got this side done. Now I got this nice long side. So I'm gonna cut. No, I'm not. See how I got this piece, this weird piece off the back that I tied on? I'm gonna keep that on, and that's what I'm gonna make a loop, and that's what I'm gonna hang the wreath from. Okay, so that's not gonna be wasted. I'm gonna use that as my hanger. Okay, so now I'm gonna come around. Same thing. I'm gonna meander this guy around. He's really long. That's good. I got a lot to play with. I like it like that. Okay, he went up. This is where I kind of start overthinking stuff. I'm gonna do him up too. And then come around. I'm gonna tuck it in here. I might add a little something right here, because I feel like I have an empty spot right here. So I might add a little extra right there. Or unless I go out. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go out, and then I'm gonna go out again. That's gonna be good. Nope, I don't like that either. Okay, yeah, I do. I'm gonna go up, and then I'm gonna come around. Okay, that's better. I'm actually gonna go ahead and glue it down, because it's gonna wanna pop up, because there's nothing there to hold it in. So I'm gonna glue that guy down. Ah! Okay. I'm gonna stick a little eucalyptus in there. Yeah, that's what that needed. It just needed a little filler. Put a little of the thinner stuff in there. I got another piece here. I'll stick that in there too. Why not? I got it. It's already cut. Do you see now what I'm talking about? How these 6-foot garlands go for a mile. Whereas if I were buying the sprigs, I probably would have needed at least 5 or 6 sprigs at, you know, $7.99 each. So Good value. We got a good value with this. And we're not done with it yet. I got a lot left off that. I'm going to bring this tail around. I'm going to tuck it in here, and I'm going to finish it off. That's what I'm doing there. I'm going to glue it down because I loved how it just kind of took on its own little personality, and that's what I'm just going to let it stay there. If he has a mind of his own, he wants to do it, I'm like, you go for it. You look good. You're making me happy. I like it. And then I'm going to cut it off. That's how much I got left. Good thing I have 2 more bolts. So there's our wreath. I'm going to play with that bow a little bit. I'm kind of wonky with it, but that's okay. I'll fuss with it. There's our adorable, definitely not traditional, super cute sunflower wreath. How simple was that? I don't think with this fella, I don't think I'm going to add anything else to it. I don't know. I hang them up. Let's see. I think we got a winner. I think we've got a super cute winner. I think I need to add a little something here, which let's just do that right now while we're chatting. I'm going to take a little bit of this hydrangea, geranium. I do that all the time. Stick that in there. That's it. What time is it? We did it, see? It's about 40 minutes with me yakking. If you were to start one of those projects and finish it, you probably have it done in about probably 20 or 25 minutes, I think. So get crafting. I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, and I will chat with you guys soon.